If you've ever felt stressed, overwhelmed, or straight up confused about getting hired in today's job market, you're in the right place. Today, we're joined by Victoria McMillin, career strategist and founder of Job Coach Victoria.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
Hello, this is Kim Russo, your host of Charleston Women Podcast. Today we welcome Victoria McMillin, a career strategist and founder of Job Coach Victoria. With nearly 2 decades of experience working alongside hiring managers, Victoria has helped thousands of professionals land roles in Fortune 100 companies. She teaches job seekers how to stand out, craft powerful resumes, and master interviews with confidence. Her mission? To help you get hired faster and step into your next role with clarity and courage. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you for that intro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, how did it's kind of a niche market to be a career strategist and job coach. What inspired you to start Job Coach Victoria?
Well, as you mentioned, I've actually been doing this 20 years now, which is very telling of my age. But I have been in a unique role where I get to work with candidates looking for positions and the hiring managers looking to fill them. So I get to take a candidate from talking to them on the first call, editing their resume, prepping them for the interview, to selling them to the hiring manager, seeing what they see and reviewing the resume with them and finding out who they hire. And through this duration of 20 years that I've been doing this, I realized how many people don't really know the skills that it takes to get hired. So even the managers that I have been working with for all of this time, if they get let go, they're VPs, they're directors, they've been doing this a very long time. They're coming to me being like, what do you think of my resume? They're not even aware of what they see in a resume and what they see in an ideal candidate. So I was like, there's a really big need for somebody to be able to help somebody through this process, and decided to launch Job Coach Victoria from it.
What are some of the patterns that you see that's motivated you to help these job seekers directly?
I think essentially that things have really changed in the job market and how you position yourself. So gone are the days of just crafting a perfect resume and submitting it to a bunch of jobs, and then all of a sudden you get all these interviews. The average position that is posted these days gets over 100 applicants. There is a need for being able to stand out, knowing how to customize your resume, knowing how to strategize. And I think that there is a lot to be said for having some tools in your tool belt, per se, to kind of know how to navigate that.
What kind of tools do you recommend besides your basic, LinkedIn, resume?
Yeah. So much about it is connection and marketing yourself. People don't realize they have to market themselves. And LinkedIn is obviously one of my favorite tools, but you have to network your way in. If you are just another resume in the ATS system, one of those 100 resumes that got sent in, you may not even get somebody to review your resume to be able to earn an interview. So you've got to know how to make connections, how to structure your resume and cater it to that job posting. Use exact words from the job posting. Put it in your resume. The top 3 bullet points are the most important. The average hiring manager only spends 6 seconds reviewing a resume, which is wild, right? For example, I have an SEO optimization consultant position open right now, and my recruiters are sending me candidates, and I'm opening the resume and I'm taking a gander at it and control Fing the resume to look for SEO and sending it back to them and being like, this is a digital marketing consultant, but they're all social media. They are not on the analytics side. They don't even have SEO in their resume. And that's what hiring managers do as well.
Yeah. So you're actually almost like pre-screening them, right? To make sure that they're even a good fit to bypass the line of, would you say 100 applicants?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, my name is going on this resume. I put my company logo on it. It's a reflection of me. So my job is to screen these candidates and send the hiring manager over the top 3 to 5 candidates that we find in the market.
And I've had a history of friends that have lost jobs and have tried really hard to find jobs here in Charleston without any luck. What are some tips to stand out in the Charleston job market?
I'm glad you asked that because I always kind of refer to Charleston as like a little big city, right? It is large, but it is also really small. And so the beautiful thing about Charleston is that you have such a strong ability to network. So any company that you are applying to, whether it's Benefit Focus, Blackbaud, Boeing, I'm realizing as I'm saying this, we have a lot of companies that start with B. In the Charleston market. But we have Walmart, we have Mercedes, whatever it is. If you do not know somebody at that company, you know someone who knows someone. So being able to just look up the company on LinkedIn, click on people, and the top people that come up at the top are going to be the people that you have connections to. It'll say first, second, or third connection. So you may sit there and go, all right, well, I'm applying to Mercedes, but I don't know anybody that works there. And if you go through this task and you open it up, you may go, oh my gosh, I'm applying to an IT role and the director of IT is connected to one of my best friends. And then you call up your best friend and say, how do you know Joe Smith? Can you make an email introduction? So you want to get eyes on your resume. 80% of roles are filled through networking, and people get really discouraged by that because they're like, I don't know anybody there. I can't reach out to anybody there, but there are so many different ways to do that. You can get an introduction. You can reach out to people that are doing the role that you're interested in at the company and send them a LinkedIn message or an email and say, I'm interested in XYZ role at your company. I see you've been there for 4 years. I would love to hear about your experience and how you like it there. Would you take 15 minutes next week to talk to me? And then they get to go to their manager or the person hiring for the role and say, hey, have you seen Victoria's resume? I actually talked to her last week. She seems like she'd be a great fit for our team. So you have to find ways to network, and there's a lot of different ways to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's like an amazing tip for Charleston because I think everybody knows everybody here. And so there's some like Kevin Bacon. Only been here 6 years, and I think every time I step out my door, I see somebody that I know from somewhere.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
So you mentioned some big companies here. What are some of the Fortune 100 companies that you have placed people in successfully that you're currently working with, just in case anybody's listening and wants to reach out to you to get in contact with some of these companies?
Over my tenure in doing this, it's been a lot. Apple, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon. I've done we do retail, Gap, Sephora, Disney, Visa, Wells Fargo. So I have filled roles in a variety of different industries. So whether it's IT or creative and marketing, healthcare, pharma, I've essentially kind of done it all. And the beautiful thing is, yes, within different verticals, there are a few different ways that people do things. Like creative and marketing might do things a little bit different than technology does. But overall, the hiring process still remains the same. And so a lot of what my advice is applies to you regardless of what industry you're in.
So this is kind of a personal question because I'm a brand designer. How important is it to have a beautifully designed resume, not just the words, but being able to like catch somebody's eye right away with the design and the aesthetics of it?
I think, to be perfectly honest, I think some people in the design industry go a little bit too far. And so they're trying to be different and stand out. But if you have a clean, polished resume, that is what they want to see. That's going to be what is most impactful, what you did in your most recent role, what the bullet points are, and then the portfolio is what gets to be pretty and designed. So when I receive a resume and it has a big design or flowers all over it or something like that, I usually ask them to remove it. I'm not a big fan of like your picture in the upper left-hand corner.
Really?
Yes. Statistics show that that can be a turnoff to a lot of hiring managers.
Okay.
So keeping it clean and professional is the safest bet if you're trying to apply to the masses. And then you can really show your design experience and your flair in your portfolio.
I would have thought the opposite, that your photo would be making you stand out and it would put a face to it, to the resume. Why statistically is that not good?
I think that essentially it can look a little bit too pompous or boastful. And so even if it's subliminal and hiring managers don't realize it, studies have shown that those people have a lesser interview percentage.
So you have a product, I believe, right? It's called Plug and Play Resume Kit.
I essentially designed a 30-minute plug and play resume kit. It takes you 30 minutes to put together for people that are like, what do I do with my resume? How do I cater this to each individual role as I'm suggesting? Because people don't know how to do that. And so I've used all of my years of experience in the industry, what I know hiring managers want to do, made a step-by-step guide, and coupled it with AI. So I say, okay, these are the exact prompts you're going to plug into ChatGPT for this role. Take the job description, plug it in here, tell it to do XYZ, and plug it into your resume so that people can easily create a resume without wondering if they're doing the right thing and needing to have somebody like myself review each individual resume so that it's kind of a foolproof kit. And I tried to make it really affordable for everybody so that anybody can use it. So it's just $7.
Well, where can they find this kit?
If you go to my Instagram, Job Coach Victoria, I have it in my link. I am going to be promoting it on my website that will be up and running pretty soon. But right now, Instagram is the best place to locate it.
You are a mom of two cuties. What is some tips that working moms, they've been stay-at-home moms for a few years, they're trying to rejoin the workforce or were caregiving for some time. What kind of tips do you have for somebody that does have these resume gaps and is looking to rejoin the workforce?
Great question. I get that question a lot, and I've helped a lot of friends and family members earn roles with that same question. My closest friend out in Colorado just got a new marketing job, and she's been out of it for 13 years. A lot has changed in 13 years, right? My top advice, I can help people navigate through this, and I'm hoping to create a whole kit for specifically people that have been out of work for a specific duration and have a gap. But to put it clearly, you want to fill the gap with something. So whether it's volunteer experience, whether you were on the PTA at your child's school, whether or not you helped organize fundraising for a school or your church or whatever, you can put a title, you're an event coordinator, you're whatever. And then in the bullet points, you list that it's volunteer experience. But as I mentioned earlier, you get 6 seconds. That's all you get for a hiring manager to say, do I want to continue looking at this resume? Do I want to schedule an interview? Or am I moving on to the next one? And if they see that you haven't worked in several years, you're going to get moved to the next one, right? Even if you have somebody vouching for you. Mm-hmm. So if you can find a way to use what you have been doing in that time, because every mom out there has a unique set of skills, right? Mm-hmm. And they're running the household, they're managing calendars, right? They can be an executive assistant for all I care.
Operations manager.
Yes, operations manager, whatever the case is, you do have to list somewhere in there that it was ad hoc or volunteer or whatever verbiage you want to use. But it gets them looking at your resume and seeing that there was not just a period of time where you were doing nothing.
Another thing that I went through with a friend that was, took her a while to find a job, and she picked up some babysitting here and there, but I just remember being with her and seeing her, like, her whole being kind of, it was like a sadness. It was a frustration. It was like an unworthiness. And it was really trying for her. And one of it was trying to get something in the price range that she wanted and the holding out until she got something. But what do you do to help people through this emotional time when, you have bills to pay, you have mortgages or people that are depending on you? What do you say to people that are just feeling so frustrated in that job search?
I know it can be really hard. And I talk to people every single day that are like, I'm applying to all of these jobs and I'm not getting any movement and I've got a family to support and I have bills to pay. And I empathize with that wholeheartedly. I know that that is unbelievably difficult. I think it's so easy to get discouraged and burnt out, but I constantly on my Instagram of trying to give easy tactical tips per day. Just keep the needle moving forward, whether that is put LinkedIn requests to 5 people at a company you're interested in that day, right? Reach out to somebody and ask if they could do an informational interview and meet for coffee or meet for 15 minutes over the phone to explain their experience at the company. Sit there and ask ChatGPT for some interview questions and just prep it on your phone while you're sitting on the couch. Just say, you know what, I am going to give myself 10 minutes today to do something that is going to help me move forward, because it's so easy to just fall into a slump and not want to do anything. And then nothing happens if nothing happens. Easier said than done, I know, but if you can find a way to find something small that you can do that makes you feel like you're going towards your goal, that can keep you moving on a day-to-day basis.
Do people usually find you when they're in that place of I've tried myself, I can't do it? How do people find you to work with you?
A lot of people find me through social media. And then given what I do, I've created a really strong network across the country of people that I've helped that now refer me to their friends, right? I've worked with all these hiring managers. I'm working with VPs that have hired people from me for 5 straight years that just entered the job market. And they're like, what do I do? And I'm looking at their resume and I'm like, you're selling yourself short. You built this department up from scratch. That needs to be your first bullet point. And here's how we're going to phrase it. So I think to answer your question about how to find me, I think a lot of it does come through what I keep preaching about, which is networking, and finding people through people that you've helped before and through Instagram. A lot of people are looking for people to help guide them on social media.
Those are the people that don't have jobs and looking. What about people that are in career positions and they want something more, something different? What's one piece of advice that you could, or 2 pieces of advice that you could give them?
Yes. So you absolutely want to go into LinkedIn and toggle that button that says open to new opportunities. Little hint, if you work for a corporation, anybody at your corporation, so if you work for Disney, nobody at Disney can see that you are open to opportunities. So it kind of makes it hidden. And then you also have to have a professional account in order to see that and notice that, so that only recruiters and corporate recruiters within the industry are able to view that as well. LinkedIn has been really smart about that because they know that people that are in positions are not going to click that button and show that they are open to new opportunities if they know that their coworkers and their boss could potentially see it.
Yeah.
But additionally, start to be more active on social media. Not I'm looking for a job, but you find an article that you think is relevant that people would want to see. You have a personal story that you want to share. It is a social media platform. So the algorithm is going to pick you up the more that you post and share and comment and like other people's posts and just engage in general.
Well, so for other women out there, not just Charleston women that are feeling hopeful and maybe they're a little stressed for job hunting in the new year, and as we're heading into 2026 soon, what are some steps and advice you'd give them to kind of prepare for the new year?
Get your resume optimized. Get your resume ready over the holidays. Like I mentioned, spend 10 minutes a day saying, I'm going to update XYZ on my resume. I'm going to do the template and the formatting. I'm going to add my most recent job. Most people don't always have an up-to-date resume ready to go, right? If you've been in your job for several years, you don't have your current job on your resume. Start following companies that you'd be interested working for and engaging with them. If they put up a recent post, if you really want to work for Boeing and they put up a post about what they're doing, comment. Hiring managers go to LinkedIn and they look for that stuff. And if they see that you're following the company and you've been engaging with posts, that helps your chances as well. So there's a lot that you can do over the next several weeks. But my advice is to start now, even if they are baby steps, because when these positions open in January, they get filled really quickly. So you don't want to start the process January 1, as tempting as I know it is to take the holidays completely off. You want to start now. And I have a lot of clients that are hiring right now, even through the holidays, because they want somebody to be able to hit the ground running and start in January. So my advice is don't wait.
What are the best ways to strike up a conversation with you?
Yes, LinkedIn and Instagram, absolutely. I love having new connections on LinkedIn, and I know that I tout it all the time, right? Find people to connect with. I'm even proud of people that reach out to me and say, hey, here's my resume. I'm interested in XYZ roles. If you have anything open, be proactive. Don't be scared to reach out to people you don't know.
Victoria, thank you so much for being here as our guest on Charleston Women Podcast and allowing for us to learn all about job coach Victoria.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
Thank you. Well, I'm Kim Russo, your host. I'll see you in the next episode of the Charleston Women Podcast.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.